So with international travel curtailed, my YouTube feed was filled with travel YouTubers making puff pieces about riding the rails with Amtrak, or taking a train for a stupidly long time. This is not one of those videos. While I may live in Chicago now, I spent nearly 2 decades in the Acela corridor, taking Amtrak up and down more times than I can count. I can name all the stations in order by heart, and yet not once in all those years did I ever take the Acela. Why? Well, as much as I love Amtrak and I love high-speed trains, the issue is that Amtrak, compared with other countries' rail systems, is, well...
It's a joke.
But with rock-bottom prices due to the pandemic, and the fact that I'm a big-time YouTuber now...
Who?
I thought I'd give the Acela a shot. So let's see what the Acela is like on this trip from New York to Washington. Heck, it was only $69. Let's see if it happens to be nice. The Acela is the only real high-speed train in the United States, though that classification is questionable. First entering service in 2000, the 20 train sets run the highly popular route between Boston and Washington. In fact, there's a brand new train rolling out in 2021, which will completely replace the existing trains by 2022, supposedly. These Acela Liberty trains are bigger and better in every way, including being faster and smoother given their active tilting. The current Acela is capable of speeds of 165 miles per hour, which sounds pretty fast. The maximum they currently achieve is 135 miles per hour. However, the problem is not with the top speed, but the average speed. For every heart-pounding moment of this, there's also plenty of this. The average speed between New York and Washington is only 82 miles per hour. Between New York and Boston, it's an even sadder 66 miles per hour. Limits on the infrastructure and rail congestion lead to many more changes in speed and delays than other high-speed rail networks. Sure, there are proposals to improve the infrastructure, but that's a hot-button political issue, and I'll believe it when I see it. Unlike airlines with ticket prices constantly in motion, Amtrak tickets are sold in fare buckets. As the train fills up, it gets more expensive. Fortunately, Amtrak actually shows you how full your train is when booking. As you can see, besides the Acela, there are the Northeast regional trains, as well as some more unique, longer distance ones. And here is why I never took the Acela before: the price difference relative to how much time you save. Assuming the trains are on time, and spoilers, they aren't, you're spending over $1 per minute saved on the Acela when compared to the regular trains. As a busy business professional, sure, time is money. But as a child, college student, or young professional, it wasn't a worthwhile trade-off. But now that I am that businessman with a high hourly bill rate, I went ahead and booked the Acela. Similar to some airlines, you can bid up for first class. The minimum on this trip was $82. Given that I thought the Acela was overpriced to begin with, no way I'm doing that. You can select your seat online, and at the time Amtrak was still blocking neighboring seats. As I'm a curmudgeon with no friends, I elected the quiet car. There are both individual seats as well as tables, and wanting to get work done, I selected a table. In New York, Amtrak has moved across the street to a brand new terminal, the Moynihan train hall. It's bright, beautiful, spacious, and totally dead. There's a Starbucks, but due to the pandemic, no food vendors have moved in yet. Still, it's bright and clean, in sharp contrast to the subterranean stench of Penn Station. The New Jersey Transit trains still depart from there, likely so that those people going to New Jersey feel right at home. Not wanting to attempt to eat Amtrak's COVID catering, I got my own bowl at Chipotle. There are no benches in the main train hall to keep undesirables out, and you need to show your ticket to enter the waiting area. It's fine with some benches, tables, and power outlets. There is a Club Acela lounge, but A, it's only for first-class ticket holders, and B, it looks pretty sad. Now we get to the time-honored tradition at Amtrak, waiting for the track to be posted. There will always be a pack of people staring at the board intensely. But a watched train board never posts a track. Sometimes slipping a red cap some money will spill the beans. I saw a few people head down to track 11, so they must have gotten the tip off. Indeed, soon the track was posted and I headed down to the platform. The quiet car was right behind the first class car. Seats in business class on the Acela are in a 2-2 layout, with quads around larger tables. While larger and having more legroom than airline seats on the shuttle, they aren't particularly comfortable or anything. I personally preferred the old seats in coach on the Northeast Regional. The seats recline, and most importantly, there is free Wi-Fi and power outlets at your feet. The Wi-Fi went out once, but I was able to work the entire trip down to DC. There's buttons for audio and a headphone jack, but that doesn't do anything. We left New York 21 minutes late, and the conductor reminded us that masks had to be worn at all times.
Your mask must be worn at all times unless actively eating and drinking, and it must cover your nose as well as your mouth. Failure to comply will cause removal from the train.
Ah, that's the Amtrak hospitality I know and love. Travel time was supposed to be 2 hours and 57 minutes. The lavatory is quite large, but watch the locking mechanism, it really tends to not work that well. I walked to the Café car, where the seating was closed due to the pandemic, and the Amtrak employee was taking a break. It's a snack bar, nothing else, but it's good to walk around. At speed, the other drawback of the Acela becomes apparent. It's a pretty bumpy ride. There's a lot of sway side to side, and there was a constant banging of tray tables. So yeah, I'm wearing my noise-canceling headphones even here in the quiet car. Alternating between low and high speed, we arrived at Newark, Metro Park, Trenton, Philadelphia, Wilmington, Baltimore, and BWI, before rocketing past New Carrollton and arriving at DC's Union Station. We pulled in about 19 minutes late, so we were able to make up a tiny bit of time. Union Station looked as if it had fallen on quite hard times. Many of the stores and food court vendors were gone for good. I dodged a group of aggressive panhandlers on my way out and arrived in the nation's capital. So Amtrak Acela. It's fine. I'm definitely excited for and will try out the new trains. Even though this is mostly a flight review channel, Amtrak is still my preferred means of transport in the Northeast, even as far north as Boston. The ability to stretch out and work makes it inherently superior to flying, especially given the location of stations, lack of security, and constant Wi-Fi, rather than only for a few minutes in flight. But is the Acela worth the price premium over the Northeast Regional? I still think it's debatable. It's about 30 minutes longer on average for the cheaper trains. If you're in a rush, sure, take the Acela, though we saw here you can still be delayed. Acelas do get track priority though, so hopefully we'll make up the time more often. But it's not a more comfortable experience, and the pricing pre-COVID was an even larger surcharge over and above the regional trains. To increase the value proposition of the Acela, they need to improve the comfort, speed, or both. Hopefully the new trains do just that. I likely will just take whatever train departs at the time I want. If it's an Acela and not too expensive, great. If not, I'll just be content to relax a bit and watch the world go by. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click that button, and please subscribe for my traditional flight reviews as well as some train reviews like this occasionally. I'll see you on the next one.